Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Here, as always, with my co-explorer, Amy Long.
Hi.
We're coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We're keeping it right here in North America. This episode, we're going to be talking about it's one of my favorite cities.
Mine too.
When I first visited, I think around 2018 or so, is when I first went there. But Vancouver has remained at the top of my personal list of favorite cities around the world. It just has this beautiful energy. It's a beautiful city. And, we're going to share some of our favorite places to visit and things to do when you go there, or if you finally make it to Vancouver. Free things to do, restaurants to try, and we're going to take a deeper look into Stanley Park, which kind of reminds me, a few episodes back we did one on San Diego, and they have in their city center is like Balboa Park. Stanley Park is very reminiscent of this, except it's an island. So there are like islandy things to do on Stanley Park.
Islandy.
Islandy. Yes, that is a technical term. Islandy Park. So Vancouver. Now, when we mentioned Vancouver, what was one of your first experiences there? Your initial thoughts when you first got there? I know it was a few years back now.
Yeah, the first time I went to Vancouver was in 2017, I believe, and it was for rugby sevens. And I've been to a few different rugby sevens tournaments around the world, and Vancouver knows how to do it. They may not necessarily be rugby sevens fans, but they love to party, and rugby sevens is a huge party. So, like, the entire city flocks to BC Place Stadium. It's indoor, outdoor party. It's just so much fun. And so that was my first experience in Vancouver. And we've been back several times. We've done a lot of other things, but I didn't know what to expect. It's beautiful. I mean, just picturesque, and then just to have this like fun atmosphere right in the center of it was a blast.
Yeah, rugby sevens was. I had zero expectations the first time we went there for rugby, and to experience it's just this gigantic weekend party.
Yeah, with
sports involved. Favorite things mixed with favorite things mixed with people from all over the country and all over the world descending upon this wonderful city. And you kind of get this mix and feel of, I talked earlier about the energy of a city. If the energy is already good in a city, and then you amp it up for a party weekend. And of course, Canadians are so nice. So yes. It's nice and respectable, but it's still fun. BC Place. We talk about places to visit once you get to the city, really at the heart of Vancouver. In Vancouver, there's a part of an island, and there's like West Vancouver, North Vancouver, South Vancouver, and the more like the suburb type areas to the south of the city center. But when you look at the center of it, BC Place and Rogers Place right next door kind of are that focal point of the downtown area. Yeah,
and I think the last time we were there again for rugby sevens, and there was also a hockey game at Rogers Arena, which is literally next door.
Yeah.
So it was just tons of fans there, this great energy and vibe, and just a whole lot of fun. And our home team happened to be playing that weekend, and we were torn. Which one do we go to?
Yeah, it was a weird coincidence. We had rugby. And they also do their soccer tournaments, their bigger soccer tournaments, like at BC Place. But Rogers Arena right next door is the home to the NHL's Vancouver Canucks. And the Vegas Golden Knights just happened to be playing, and I was torn for a minute, like, oh, man, I want to go see my hometown team in a non-hometown location. But so you have BC Place and Rogers Arena, and it kind of goes out from there. To the north a little bit, you have like the financial districts. Looking at it, like to the east, you have more of like Chinatown and what they call the gas lamp district. Now, the gas lamp district, we're going to get to that because it is a free place. Again, mentioning San Diego and their gas lamp district, the
gas town
in Vancouver is an area with shopping and restaurants, but it's not like necessarily big brand name like retailers. It's like mom and pop shops that are local to the area, and lots of offices and things, but people milling about, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a free thing. So we'll get to that in just a little bit under our free things. But Chinatown, I got to walk around China.
I was not with you when you walked around Chinatown.
Chinatown in Vancouver is just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's got just so much history involved, and it's got some great restaurants. So just walking around Chinatown, and there are things like I apologize, I'm going to screw up some of these names, but the classical Chinese garden. It is a little bit of money. You do have to buy tickets to go into the classical Chinese garden. But once you get into it, wow. Words just really do escape me. It's this beautiful, to the nines kind of, taking care of botanical garden and everything. So you have the Chinese, the classic Chinese garden, and you also have like the Chinese Canadian Museum, which goes back into the history of, immigrants coming here and how they help build and shape everything in Vancouver and around that area. And not to mention, I'll mention again, honestly, all the wonderful places to either find ramen or your favorite Chinese dishes around that area. And they're in, like most Chinatowns, like if you go to the one in San Francisco or wherever, they're in nondescript little buildings. You'll just see like a menu in the window and you just read down it and you know that almost every single one of them you walk into is going to be heavenly.
Question, is ramen Chinese or is ramen Japanese?
I don't know. You talk a little honky from the South, man. I don't know.
You said ramen. I think you meant noodles, but
noodles.
Yeah.
Well, ramen, noodles. Okay.
Yeah.
You got it. Thanks for calling me out.
Sorry.
Now that we've been canceled in a couple of places, there you go. Okay. Let's go more honky town. Granville Island.
Oh, right. I was with you when you wandered around Granville. Yeah.
Awful lot of honkies around.
No, it was fun. We didn't know what to expect. We had driven over, because a bridge goes over this little island. We'd driven over the bridge a couple of times, and finally we're like, how do you get down there? Because there were restaurants and shops and this other big building. We didn't know what it was, and finally somebody told us, and it ended up being this huge public market that was so much fun to walk around. I think we're going to talk about that in a little bit, too, under free things. But, it was a really nice little place to walk around, have lunch, have a drink, check out a few shops. Yeah.
There are a number of restaurants. There are a number of breweries. There's one brewery, the Granville Island Brewery. Great place for burgers and everything. We'll kind of get into that. But it's another one of these like tourist centers that doesn't feel necessarily over touristy. Mm-hmm. Now, we live in a place that is... There's a section of town, I don't know if you heard of it before, it's called the Strip in Las Vegas. Every square inch of this place feels like you're in a tourist area.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the wonderful thing about Vancouver is that the neighborhoods seem to blend seamlessly. You'll be walking in Chinatown, and all of a sudden you're upon BC Place, and then you're in kind of the financial district, and then it is surrounded because, it is partial on the coast there. You have these beautiful beaches that you can go to and everything. But one of the, also it's a winter playground.
Right.
Vancouver, British Columbia, Whistler.
Right.
That's what skiers and snowboarders of every ilk know about Whistler, especially Whistler Blackcomb, which is one of the largest ski resorts in North America. People from all over the world visit. Hundreds of thousands of visitors every single year to ski those slopes.
Yeah, and I think because it's something I didn't realize until just a few years ago, Vancouver area is where they make a lot of TV shows. Mm-hmm. So we've seen things in Vancouver and Whistler in various TV shows that we watched, and we didn't even realize it. We were walking down the street from BC Place and Rogers Arena, and we came across this round building, and I was like, I've seen this building in TV shows and in movies before, and it ended up being their public library. But it was just really neat to identify all these places that I'd seen on TV. Yeah. They're right in front of me.
Speaking of, probably one of the more famous places, Capilano Suspension Bridge Park. One of our favorite episodes of Psych. The TV show Psych was there, filmed there. So the Capilano Suspension Bridge, of course, famous bridge thing. When we come back, Unscaled Travel Show, we're talking Vancouver. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, and I'm with my co-explorer and always happy and jovial. There you go. I cannot say that word.
Jovial?
Jovial. Jolly.
I don't like that word.
Oh, okay. Happy. Happy and redheaded. Amy Long. We are at the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're talking about Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. One of our favorite cities. And we were talking about things to do. In a little bit, we'll talk about some restaurants. We'll give you some tips, recommendations, I guess. And we'll take a deeper look at Stanley Park. But the end of the last segment, we were chatting about the Capilano Suspension Bridge.
Yeah.
And it's a whole park. It's not just
park.
this famous bridge. If you Google it real quick, I mean, you'll see it. You'll probably go, oh, wow, yeah, I've seen that bridge in hundreds of movies and TV shows and everything else. And we kind of ended up on it, but there is a price. We are about to talk about some free things you can do around the city, but there is a price for the bridge, I believe.
Yeah, it's around $60 a person, and that's Canadian dollars. It depends on what day you go, and then they do have discounts for seniors and students. Mm-hmm. Or if you're a local, you get a discount also. So, it's a little bit pricey, but at the same time, there's a lot of things to do there. It's not just this one bridge that you walk across. I mean, the main bridge is very cool. It's 450 feet suspended over a river. And this bridge has been there since 1889. So it's not the same original bridge. It has been updated. Okay. But you have that main bridge. But then once you get past that, you go to the other side, they have what they call their treetop adventures. So there's these platforms that are built up in the trees, and there's another 7 suspension bridges to get between those. And then they have what is called their cliff walk. And you and I did this, and I have to say, if you're not a fan of heights, the Capilano Suspension Bridge Park may not be the place for you, but the cliff walk is really cool. They call it a gravity-defying cantilever walk.
There you go.
It's a little bit scary, but it was still really cool, and we got some great pictures on it.
Well, you know me. I don't like heights, but I made it through, and it's a beautiful place. It is high. The bridge does shake a little bit, so it's kind of a little adventure park in itself. And it is a little bit north of the city. It is quite a drive if you drove out there yourself. So the good news is they do have a free shuttle that will pick you up at various points around the city and take you out there and bring you back, throughout the day. The shuttles are running throughout the day, and you'll have to go to their website to find their exact route for the free shuttle to the Capilano Suspension Bridge Park.
But there were a lot of pickup spots, and we were lucky in that one of them was right at our hotel. So we just walked right outside, and the bridge was there. I want to say like every hour and a half or so, it picked up at that spot. So, and then it was just a loop. So once we were done at the park, we just got back on the bus, and it took us right back to our hotel, which was very nice. Bought
our tickets online too, so we didn't have to stand in line. And I believe sometimes there are discounts for even buying online as well.
Yeah.
So transitioning from there to actual free things to do, the area we actually stood in front of was that library.
Yeah.
Was that library you were just talking about as well, which is, it's a huge library. And it's beautiful on the outside, and it's even better on the inside. But if you're a fan of books, like I know you are, I am. You don't normally get the recommendation, hey, go walk around the library, even though my mom used to tell me that all the time. Oh, you're bored? Go walk around the library, you dunce. And you're going to end up a radio show host. But this one I would recommend because it is a very beautiful library. But we also talked about Gastown. Going back to Gastown, this is where you're going to find the Gastown steam clock. It's one of only 6 active and working steam clocks in the world. So it is something, it's a little cheesy thing to see, like at the top of the hour, the steam clock lets all the steam go, and it has a little whistle in it and everything. You see it once, you never have to go back and see it again. But it is fascinating to go and check out.
Yeah.
And I know you...
I wasn't with you that day either because I was working while we were there. But you took all those pictures and were showing them to me, and you were so cute about the steam clock that I was a little bit disappointed I didn't get to see it with you.
It makes you, if you ever loved science or whatever, it kind of makes you, or you like machinery. I instantly turned into a 9-year-old again. I was just like, just pressing my face up against, like, how does this work? And it is, they explain it. They'll have explanations on written things all over the clock and everything. But
you were telling me Gastown was really cool and that I should go back and explore it.
You can make a day of just walking around Gastown. There's shops, there are eateries, there's all kinds of fun stuff. You also find like the Angel of Victory statues. Victory Square is good. Nice park down there in that area, which is also bumps against the financial district. Mm-hmm. Financial district, you'll see more, carefully placed tourist attractions like Pink Alley. Pink Alley is popular because it's one of these really nice alleyways that they've painted and artists have come in to kind of add their works to this alleyway. And so people love to go down there and do it for the Instagram, right? Do it for the gram. So they go down there and take pictures. And it's a fun, free thing to do with your family or if you're just walking around. And there's the great thing about both of these areas is that there are, and I'm going to include Chinatown here, there are little nooks and crannies where you're going to find motifs and murals and things of this nature where you can just kind of dip down a little alleyway and just be like, take a couple of quick pictures. No, don't go down any alleyway that looks sketchy. I'm not telling you that. Even in Vancouver, there can be suspectable things going on. That is my... I'm going to get somebody stabbed. I'm sorry.
Be careful.
Be careful no
Practice
where you
regular safety precautions. The thing I like about Vancouver, you talked about how all these different areas kind of bleed into each other, but to me, the main tourist attractions are pretty spread out. So you're never like in a huge crowd of people unless it's like a big event happening that weekend, something like that. But when we went out to Capilano, it was not really that busy. It was starting to more towards the middle of the day. When you went out to Stanley Park, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, it wasn't that crowded. Yeah. Same with when we went to Granville Island. There were just, unless you're there on a huge event weekend, it's kind of just like any other regular city. It doesn't feel like a touristy city.
And speaking of, free things and just hanging out, if you're on a warm summer, crisp Canadian day, which is like 20 degrees, check out the beaches. They have a ton of beaches.
Right.
A surprising number of really well-kept beaches for this area. There's like second and third beach, and then there's the Kitsilano, and I probably messed that up, beach, but like Spanish Banks, Sunset Beach. There's a ton of beaches to go and just take in the sunset, take in the sunrise, whatever. And of course, with those areas, you're going to also there's nice little restaurants and eateries and different things like that. So my favorite thing, which was what we're going to get into as soon as we come back, restaurants.
We love to eat.
Not only, some higher end restaurants, but also some where, the locals like to hang too. And we're going to share those little secrets with you, right? It's Vancouver right here on the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Thanks so much for joining us. We're coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. My co-host, co-explorer, Amy Long.
Hi.
We're talking about Vancouver, some of our favorite places, and now we are down to the good stuff. Places to eat. Oh my God, ship me off.
If you listen to the show, we like to eat.
How can you better, get a feel for a place, get a feel for locals and everything without going to the restaurants?
Right.
And not just, look, I understand. When you go out traveling, sometimes you want a meal that you know is going to be good. There are those type of places. They do have chains, restaurants in Vancouver, just like any other big city out there. And, a couple of these places are more on the, I guess, not chains, but, people know about them. But we're also going to give you some local spots that locals really love, so you can go out and really get a feel and a taste of the city.
Yeah.
Now, between breaks here, we were kind of chatting about this, and you mentioned offhand just coffee.
Right. It seems like there is at least 2 coffee shops on every block in like the main downtown area. Mm-hmm. So if you need your coffee like we do, you will not have a shortage. I was walking one morning to get to the stadium for work, and the first coffee place I came across, super crowded. I just looked across the street, and that one was less crowded. So it's like you can kind of pick and choose based on how much of a hurry you're in, if you have a preferred coffee chain brand that you like. There's a few different ones in Vancouver. So lots of coffee day and night.
There you go, man. It makes sense because Seattle is so close. Of course, Seattle, being the home of Starbucks.
Yep.
So if you don't want to do Starbucks, and I know my friends in Australia are very passionate about their passion for hating Starbucks because they have a very unique coffee culture down there in Melbourne and in other places of Australia. But if you are looking for comfort, yes, there are Starbucks. There are a number of them. They're always crowded, and you can get your mocha choke or whatever.
Well, and because it's Canada, they have their own chains too. So you'll find Tim Hortons, and I believe it's Waves Coffee is another chain there. So
probably Pete's is probably around
maybe there. Pete's, I can't remember. But so many different coffee options. You will always find whatever you're looking for.
For just straight up experiences, talking about restaurants, I'm always going to begin my list with the Top of the World restaurant.
Right.
It's a beautiful place. We have a Top of the World kind of restaurant here at the Strat in Las Vegas where you just get to see the city and the lights, especially if you go at like sunset. You get to see this beautiful sunset, and they have, something we don't have, water. And you get to see the beautiful sunset over the water. And it was a really fun. It was a good tasting experience. The food was good. It was a good atmosphere, but the Top of the World was one of our first experiences.
Yeah, and it's right there on the harbor. So we went in the evening, and all the city lights were lit up. The harbor was lit up. The bridges going over to Stanley Park. It was just really lovely to sit there and see, even at night, see all the city lights as we're eating dinner. And that was our first time to go to a Top of the World restaurant. So it was, a new experience for us to eat up there.
You were calling me out about my knowledge of noodles versus ramen earlier, so it made me think of the Jinya Ramen Bar, which we got to sit at. It's on Robson Street, so it's right down from BC Place and right around the corner from a lot of these other restaurants. But Jinya Ramen Bar, it's a smaller restaurant, and there's just a few seats on one side of the bar, and then there's a backside that we got to sit at and have a drink, and just people were just waiting around the corner for this place to free up with seats and everything. But that's another great to stop in and grab you a quick meal. And people weren't staying very long. It's not a very big area.
No, there was a waiting line to get in, I remember. But we stopped. We had a drink. I think maybe we did have a bowl of ramen each, and then we were out of there. But I could see why people would wait because it was just a really nice atmosphere inside there. Earlier,
we spoke about Granville Island, which is, kind of like a more touristy place that doesn't feel overly touristy. You could tell a lot of locals are there doing their market shopping, buying fish and produce, things like that, going home to cook. There are a few good places in Granville for either snacks. For a snack, Stewart's Bakery.
Oh,
they have beautiful looking chocolate and cupcakes and all kinds. I know we got something there.
We did. I think I got a Black Forest cupcake, and you got something else. But I just remember we walked around. It's just a really cool place to walk around and see. And then we got our sweets, and we went and sat outside, and I devoured that Black Forest cupcake. It was so good.
Yeah, it was super good. And we also got to spend a little time at the Granville Island Brewery.
Yeah,
there's a brewery right there. Sampling all kinds of craft beers. If craft beers are your thing, this is a great place to sit and kill some time. They also do burgers and
Yeah.
and things of that nature.
I think we got a flight though, so we were able to try like 5 or 6 different of their
We
specific beer.
We got a flight and we just kind of stumbled around Greenville Island, which, hey, beautiful. Because we weren't driving. So we weren't driving. We took a taxi out there.
Right. We took taxis because they don't have Uber in Vancouver. Unless that's changed recently.
It's changed, yeah.
They don't have Ubers there.
We did have fun there. But there was a number of places. I think we went on a Sunday, and some of the places had closed early.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird time when we went there because it was
like
COVID-y.
earlier in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Around COVID time. COVID was starting.
Yeah.
And it was a Sunday morning. So, there weren't a lot of people around, but a lot of stuff wasn't open.
Some locals' favorites, okay? The Flying Pig.
Oh, right.
The Flying Pig at Yellowtown. It's near BC Place as well.
I think they have a few locations.
They have a few locations, but anywhere you see a Flying Pig, you're going to want to stop in. Great place to stop and just either people watch, you get some food, grab a drink, whatever.
That was the first place that was recommended to me by a coworker who lives in Vancouver.
Another one you're going to want to try is the Fish Counter. The Fish Counter, obviously fish. So this one is on Main Street. So this is more like locals. This is out in the suburbs. So you're definitely going to have to take a taxi or something out there because it's not on the islandy part, it's not in the financial district or anything like that. This is like true suburb. Go out a little bit on Main Street and check out the Fish Counter, which can also be said about Medina Cafe or the Red Accordion, which are in different spots. I think the Red Accordion is more north Vancouver. It's closer, like going out to Stanley Park than it is being down inside the financial
So more
district.
in the residential areas.
Yeah, a little bit outside of it. But then you're going to get to places like Download Chicken Shack. Look, it's a chicken shack.
It sounds incredible.
Chicken sandwiches galore, man. And you're going to have, it's so good. And I know locals are probably going to get angry. Like, hey, don't advertise our spots, man. But I'm like, dude, these are really good spots. And it's simple. And those are oftentimes the best places to eat or the simple places. It's a chicken shack, the Download Chicken Shack. And also, if you're in Chinatown, which has so many great places to eat, honestly, we talked about that earlier. But the Chinatown barbecue on East Pender is bomb.
Yum.
Bomb.
Yum.
And of course, Lucy's, if you want like this retro 24-hour diner kind of feel, Lucy's Eastside Diner is going to take you back to the 1950s America, but also it's a diner in Vancouver. It's kind of awesome.
It's an experience, right?
It is the experience, but the one thing you don't want to miss, right?
Right.
And you'll see it on so many lists if you do anything about Vancouver, Japa Dog.
Yes.
Japa Dog, Japanese style hot dogs. What does that mean? You got to go to japadog.com and go figure that out.
We can't explain these hot dogs to you, but so good.
It's so awesome. And they have street carts. They also have food trucks. They also have a actual sit-down restaurant on Robson Street. You heard us mention Robson Street twice now. Japa Dog. Check it out. Unscaled Travel Show. We're going to have more about Vancouver when we come back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, joined as always by my co-explorer, Amy Long.
Hi.
We are at the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're having fun. We hope you are too. We're talking about Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah.
We've given you some great free places to go, things to do, things to see,
Places to eat.
Oh, I mentioned of free things to do. I forgot to mention the Contemporary Art Gallery. There's a number of art galleries and museums around Vancouver that are actually free. They're nonprofit, so you can go into them free of charge anytime. But the Contemporary Art Gallery, if you love art, and a number of museums. So I forgot to mention that during our free things to do in Vancouver, and I wanted to circle back and make sure I talked about that. But now we're going to kind of focus on something that is also free to do. It's a giant part of the city. It's often described as a beautiful green oasis in an urban landscape that just kind of cuts through the middle of it and kind of gives Vancouver a little extra personality, and that is Stanley Park. Stanley Park is, number one, it's ginormous. It's about 400 hectares, which is a lot of acreage.
Okay.
It's a very big, like almost self-contained island. There are bridges over to it. There's lagoons and a waterway, that's completely circles it and everything. So I guess that does make it an island? It is kind of an island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's free to go in there and see a number of things. There are a number of like historical points and things like that you can look at, art installations and different things honoring the indigenous people that were there before in Vancouver and things of this nature. So it's kind of one of these free things mixed in with other things that might cost a little bit of money to do, such as the Vancouver Aquarium is on Stanley Park Island, I guess is what you might want to call it. But there are things like Prospect Point and Prospect Point Lighthouse. The Lionsgate Bridge is the beautiful green bridge heading out the north side of the island to West Vancouver and North Vancouver, leaving and kind of going out to Whistler.
Okay.
That's the Lionsgate Bridge. And there are different things like the hollow tree. The hollow tree was I think years ago, was struck by lightning. And so it's this giant tree that's completely hollowed out. And it's actually kind of held together. They've put some metal braces in there to keep it together. But I have a picture of it, me standing in the middle of it. And it's still a good 60, 75 feet tall or something.
I saw all the pictures you took of the various totem poles around the island.
The totem poles were placed a number of years ago. And again, one of these statues and memorials to recognize the indigenous peoples that actually helped pave the way for setting up Vancouver hundreds of years ago. Stanley Park was first opened in 1888.
Oh,
believe
wow.
it or not.
Okay.
It's very, very old. And it was used way before they ever actually had a grand opening and had bridges, nice bridges set up to cross it and things. But it's kind of become this ecological center where science and there's very little development on it. The developments that are on Stanley Park are very well thought out. And they have some kind of purpose.
Right.
Prospect Point is a place where, number one, Prospect Point, if you drive up to it, which is near Lionsgate Bridge, okay, it overlooks the water to the north end of the island. Mm-hmm. But at the top of it, there's like a little visitor center. And it has things you can buy, sweatshirts and things. Some of the best fudge. If you like chocolate or fudge, surprisingly, I walked in there after my story of getting lost, or not lost, but kind of abandoned on this island years ago. It's my own fault. But I got left on this island for dead.
He did not do his research. Let's put it that way.
I did not have the Unscaled Travel Show to help me. Look, number one, it's hard to get. It's easy to get a taxi or they don't do Uber.
They don't do Ubers.
Taxi to get out there to Stanley Park.
Right.
It's very hard to get a taxi to come pick you up when you're in Stanley Park and bring you back to a city.
Which is the problem.
Which is kind of one half of the equation that you need to figure out, which I did not. So I got left on the island and I walked around. I completely walked around the outskirts of the island thinking I was just going to take a nice little morning walk.
It's a very big island.
It's a very big island. And I was not wearing walking shoes.
No.
And I walked all day. And I ended up with giant blisters on the bottom of my feet.
You
It
did.
hurt.
And I don't recall
lesson.
where exactly you ended up finding a taxi. I want to say you were closer to the aquarium at that point before you found...
No.
You were not?
No,
I remember
I was-
you told me you walked pretty far until you got to a place where people were getting dropped off and you were able to get one of those taxis, but you walked for hours.
I walked all the way down to about Second Beach. Second Beach is back on like the main island of Vancouver, like downtown and everything, where there are actual shops and eateries and things like that where people were getting dropped off by taxis. And I had to just basically jump into one. And the guy didn't want to take me. And I was like, dude, I'm not getting out of the cab. I told a very nice Canadian taxi driver, I am not getting out of your cab. He thought I was crazy and just finally just took me back into the city.
In your defense, when I saw you that night, you did have giant blisters on your feet. And when I say giant, I have never seen blisters this big before. And you really weren't able to walk that much the rest of our time there.
It was painful. Lesson learned, man.
But what do you suggest, or how do you suggest people get out there? Or can you schedule a taxi pickup? I mean, what?
You can schedule taxi pickups. You can also just plan to they have bike rentals and things of this nature. So you can get dropped off at like places close to the aquarium. The aquarium might have been a better spot to be picked up at, and there might be taxi service there, or you can at least call a taxi out there. The time that I went and got stuck on the at Stanley Park, the aquarium was not open for whatever reason.
It was earlier in the day.
It was earlier in the day, but also it was right as COVID was kind of coming down. So I got stuck.
Well, and didn't you say that there wasn't really Wi-Fi or great cell service out there either? So you couldn't even call for a taxi?
There are. The lucky thing for me, the thing that saved me is that there are a couple of like places you can find food. Mm-hmm. One is it's actually very famous, the Tea House in Stanley Park. I could not go to the tea house in Stanley Park because you need reservations. It's a very popular place. I walked in sweaty, disheveled, hobbling at this point because I had already walked around 3/4 of the island. And they were like, no. They just the guy just waved me out. No, you get out of here. You smell.
In their defense, you did smell when I saw you later.
Oh my God, I smelled
Your
horrible.
jacket was damp from sweat. We had to have it dry cleaned because it was so embedded with sweat. It stunk.
I was so embarrassed, and I had fixed my hair that morning, and how wild my hair gets, and I did. I looked like I didn't belong there. And they very nicely, I'm kind of hamming it up, they very nicely escorted me out of the building. But I also asked them if I could use the Wi-Fi, and they said yes. They let me use their Wi-Fi. And that was when I figured out, I made contact with the taxi company, and they were like, you have to come in closer,
Wow.
to get picked up. So,
but you think a bike rental would people could do a bike rental
would have changed that. And I did not know where the bike rental was. I kept seeing people on bikes, and I don't know where it was.
Again, do your research before
do your
you
research.
go.
But Stanley Park, there also is the Stanley Park Brewery, which is out there and pretty close, and Stanley's Bar and Grill, which is actually near the aquarium. But again, a lot of these businesses, the last time we were there, were kind of shut down.
Right.
So do your research, but Stanley Park is gorgeous. It is worth it. You could spend on warm days, on spring days or something like that. It is probably the place to be.
Well, and you said that's where several of the beaches are. Is on Stanley Park.
Yeah, several of the beautiful beaches are out there. And a very cool thing on the east side of Stanley Park, the 9 o'clock gun. The 9 o'clock gun, they fire off an old cannon every day, 9 o'clock, boom. The cannon goes off, which is very cool to see. If you can't be there on the island, then go to Canada Place, the convention center. It's right across the water from the 9 o'clock gun. And you'll see it go off, and you'll hear the cannon boom.
Really?
And it's a very cool thing to see. So the 9 o'clock gun on Stanley Park.
I don't remember you talking about that.
Yeah, because my feet were falling off at the time. So. Well, for everyone here, we hope you got a lot of good information on Stanley Park and Vancouver in general. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. We will see you guys next time.